Wu-Tang's back for more. 100,000 times one. Snatch up my sounds, get done. I hold a title, and here's how my belt was won. Check it. Slick, majestic, broke mics, so left infected. Germs start to spread through your crew.
Just chilling in the building, you know what I mean? Just chilling. So what's going on with this new album, man? The Wizard of Poetry, man.
Wizard of Poetry in Emerald City. You know what I mean? That's you know, that's one of my last albums. You know what I mean? On Def Jams. You know what I mean? You know, for right now, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future though. But yeah, this is an R&B album right here. Something I always wanted to do. I had the name Wizard of Poetry back in the pre-Tony days, when I was doing pre-Tony. You know what I mean? I had it, I saved it. You know what I mean? Because I know I needed a body of work that's gonna complement the name. You know what I mean? And this R&B album is like, you know, stories. You know what I mean? Out the ass, something I do best. You know what I mean? Especially when I work with another R&B artist that's doing my hooks for me, like Demio, Mary J. Blige shit, Carl Thomas, and all that good shit. You know what I mean? So this shit right here is just one of those shits, man. You know what I mean? So the Wizard of Poetry is the perfect name for it right now. You know what I mean? So and that's why I went with the name.
What's the release date for it?
There's no release date. You
No
know
release
what I mean?
date
The
yet?
release date is whenever I get hot. When I heat up, hit the streets. You know what I mean? Going, hitting them with all types of other shit, and you know, get that, you know, just get that steamy feeling again and shit. You know what I mean? Then you go off of that vibe. I had John Legend, Lloyd, Raheem Devine. You know what I mean? Mary's supposed to lay a track down for me. And you know, I had Estelle, she was on one joint, you know, but that's it really right now. Waiting for Fab to lay his vocals down on one joint, yeah.
Sound like a hot album, man.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like, just when you hear it, you gonna understand where I'm coming from.
All right, man, let's go straight into that little comment, man, that was said about the, you know, the Wu-Tang Clan. I think it was specifically to, you know, Inspector Deck about the whole Joe Budden situation, man. How you feel about that?
I didn't really hear nothing about that. You know what I mean? I just came out from Europe, so I don't really know what's, I mean, you know, cross seas. I don't really know what's going on. But somebody had questioned me on that not too long. I told them the same shit. I didn't know what was bothering the shit. So, you know, I ain't asked Deck or Matt nothing.
If he was to come at you, man, how would you take it?
I mean, of course you're gonna have to like dart niggas' heads out. You know what I mean? Like for me, I spared a couple of rappers on the low, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I had other shit in my life, you know what I mean, that I had to deal with that was more personal, that was more deeper than, you know what I mean, at rap at that time and shit. So, but you know, I mean, it is what it is, man. Either you can get ahead and just listen to, you can just be like, yo, it ain't nothing. Because let me tell you something about these rap niggas, B. It's like, it's not all, niggas ain't all what you think niggas is, you know what I mean? It's like you see a nigga, once you see a nigga face to face, the bitch come out of nigga. You know what I mean? You see a nigga for what they really are, just not with what it appears to be. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that is that, you know, you ain't ready to die, B. Niggas ain't ready to die. You know what I mean? And a lot of niggas ain't ready to do time. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you just ask me that question, how you gonna take it if a nigga come at you or whatever, it depends on what you ready to do. Are you ready to get ahead and do the time and just kill that nigga and say fuck it over some rap shit? Cause it's easy. Ain't nothing picking up a gun and just blowing your head off, B. You know, it's nothing. It's tremendously easy.
Yeah, a lot of words, man.
It's easy.
Too much words.
You know what I mean?
Just playing
It's
with
too
it.
much. Shit is like wrestling. Niggas be saying shit over the mic and then the next day niggas in the flicks taking flicks like this. You know what I mean? I don't do that, B. I'm not one of them niggas, man. You know what I mean? And it's like the only thing that I fear, other than God, or something happening to my family, is what I do to a motherfucker, B. That's the only thing. Because it's not a nice scene, because I know what I'm gonna have to face after I do that to you. And I'm getting off first. You understand what I'm saying? So it depends on how you look at it. You know what I mean? You can either walk away from the situation, you know what I mean? Or you could handle the situation. You know what I mean? But sometimes if you let your pride get into it, you know what I mean? And we're worried about what other motherfuckers are saying, you're not gonna understand that because, you know, so enough is enough on certain shit. Like, niggas might think that you a certain way, you know, because you ain't punch a nigga in his face in like a year or two. You know what I mean? But it just depends on the situation, daddy. You know what I mean? And that's what it is in the rap game right now. So I'm not one of them niggas, I don't want to argue with you. If I'm gonna see you, I want to see you face to face, and we can just get it in. That's it. And then put that on the radio after that. You know what I mean?
Who you close to in the Wu-Tang now, man?
We all close. We all like, you know, we speak when we speak. You know what I mean? We don't hang out every day and all that other shit though. You know what I mean? And it's like, I can't say I'm not close with a nigga because it's like, I don't hate a nigga and nothing like that. We might not see each other like how we used to. You know what I mean? But you know, we all got lives, baby. We got our own lives, you know, with a house full of kids, man.
You know, with RZA being the boss back then, you know what I mean, doing all the paperwork, you felt like he led Wu-Tang in the right direction?
I mean, yeah, of course. He led Wu-Tang in the right direction, you know what I mean? It's just other business partners around him was making some fucked up decisions. So it's, RZA did what he had to do. Because without RZA doing what he had to do, I wouldn't have been in my position right now.
Special technique of shadow boxing.
Everything's changed in the industry, man. How you feel about, you know, all the new songs, you know, people saying, you know, Jay-Z had the song Death of an Auto-Tune, man. How you feel about that song myself?
I mean, it's right to a certain degree. It's right, you know what I mean? Because, but you know what it is, B? It'd be, you know, T-Pain is T-Pain. T-Pain good at what he do. You know what I mean? So you can't knock him because that's him. He ain't the first one that did that, you know what I mean? But he's the one that brought it back, and that was it. But everybody start doing it, you know what I mean? But what it is that be killing me, it just be the DJs. It be the DJs. The DJs amp everything up. Whether it's beef, you know what I mean? Without the DJ, a lot of this shit wouldn't even exist. As far as like what you know was, you know, oh, this nigga's fucking with this one said that. But yet, after somebody get killed on some Biggie Tupac shit, then a motherfucker wanna say some shit like, yo, we need to calm down. We need to be stopping this shit. But once I make a record about this nigga, he make a record about me, yo, you heard this shit? You know what I mean? You the first motherfucker to spin it. You know what I mean? Like I remember before, and no disrespect to nobody, before Master P was even hot up here, I'm in Florida chilling. I come back to New York, I see New York niggas bouncing. You know what I mean? But the DJs was playing that shit, B. And that's when they was getting hit off and getting paid to play that shit. You know what I mean? But then now, when you can't get rid of it because motherfuckers is talking like, yo, you tired of this shit, now here go you. You know what I mean? But you the one that started this shit, nigga. We ain't the DJs, we ain't playing that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, niggas just be killing me, man. All these niggas be. You know what I mean? So the death of an Auto-Tune, it goes both ways, you know. I mean, it's a, you know, you make hits, T-Pain make hits. You know what I mean? But when everybody else start getting their little shits on it and whatever, and doing it, it's like, I mean, alright, it's whatever. You know what I mean? I heard some DJs like, thank God, it's about time. But motherfucker, y'all niggas is playing that shit, bigging that shit up, doing all that shit. Now y'all want to play like that ain't the shit no more. You know what I mean? Yeah. Next question, man.
Man, so for the fans, man, just let the fans know, you know, what to expect from you, you know, for the upcoming years, the album, everything, man.
Just expect me, the man, to be that nigga, B. It's like, yo, I'm the same dude. I'm just like you, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, I love what I do, and I do this for the sport of it. You know what I mean? I love to make music, man. You know what I mean? Good music. You know what I mean? Whether it's street shit to dance to, shit to cry to. You know what I mean? Just walk with me. That's all I'm saying and shit. And yo, like I told y'all on the motherfucking Supreme Clientele album, B, I'ma lead y'all to the promised land. Y'all already know what it is. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm here. I'm still here. You know what I mean? I might be out of sight, but I'm never out of mind. You know what I mean? I'll be out of sight because I'm a ghost, man. And that's just how my life became to be. You know what I mean? But then in all reality, I ain't nowhere. I'm still here. You know what I mean? I'm here, but I ain't here. So you gotta learn how to define that. You know what I mean? So, and that's just what it is, B. So, you know, all praises is due to the Most High. You know, you got young brothers out there, man, stop getting at each other, trying to kill each other, B. Because that's not what's up. You got a life to live, you only get one. You know what I mean? And just trying to walk that dog, B. Straight up and down and shit, man. And for my fans that disagree with me on the poetry album, this R&B album, it's like, yo, this album ain't for you. if you disagree with me or me doing an R&B album. You know what I mean? I always wanted to do this shit, and this shit right here is me. What I wanted to do. Ghostface doing what Ghost wanted to do. In my last 8 albums or 9 albums, 7 albums, whatever the case may be, I did what the fans always wanted me to do. So it's like, yo, I'm a grown man, B. I don't sell crack no more. You know what I mean? I know brothers that do and all that. You know, I don't get it in like I used to do. You know what I mean? I know brothers that do and be around me. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, you know, it's time to get ahead. I could easily write about coke in my chain, pussy, cars, whips, clothes, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? But it's time to start writing shit about that means something too. That's just growth and development. So if y'all motherfuckers can't grow with me, I can't keep on stooping down to your level down to right here since back in 95 and shit, B. We have to learn how to get off the block. We want property, no more props, we want property, nigga. You know what I mean? And start growing. You know what I mean? Fuck who got the coolest fucking sneakers on. Nobody don't give a fuck about that no more, B. You know what I mean? All of them niggas whose brain that can't function, that just stuck on that level right there, is always gonna think about that. You know what I mean? I had the motherfuckers tell me I'm always gonna be in the hood. And it's like, damn, you don't limit yourself. The nigga told me that when he was fucking 14 and shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, you done finished yourself already, B. You know what I mean? We trying to get out that shit, B. You know what I mean? I don't love that shit like that. Yeah, I started there and it made me to whatever, but that's our shit is to get out of there on some good time shit. Move on up like the Jeffersons, nigga. You know what I mean? So I just want to just deliver that to the brothers out there. To like, don't just think that that's just that. I'm not just saying that because I'm making music and I've probably been around the whole world. You know what I mean? It's more, and let me tell you something. You struggling here, you go somewhere else and live even more comfortable than what you living right here. You know what I mean? Because this shit is just crazy. It's too high. Everything is just whatever. But you fuck around and you could get your game up in other motherfucking countries and other places. Exactly. But we just know that 6-block radius. You know what I mean? So yo, man, let's not get stuck there like that. Let's not just think that, yo, that's that, and I gotta hold the block down. Because no reality, you're not really holding nothing down. The block is holding you down. You know what I mean? Because you standing on it. You know what I mean? You could never hold the block down. And it sounds stupid coming out of niggas' mouths now, being in their 20s and 25s and 30s and 40s. Don't even, you know, that's even more crazier. You know what I mean? So, come on, y'all. Let's wisen up, man. So that's all I want to say, man. Fuck that dumb shit.
That's what it is, man. It's always good to leave a positive note, man. So World Star Hip Hop's in the building. Streetheat DVD's in the building, man. We signing off, man. Thanks for coming out, Ghost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You already know, man.